Have you ever been alone in a room and felt an unsettling presence, as if someone was watching you? What if that feeling wasn't just paranoia? This story follows Amara, a seasoned travel nurse whose night shifts at Montana State Hospital introduced her to something far beyond the realm of science and medicine. Some truths linger in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. Amara had worked as a travel nurse for years, moving between hospitals and handling various shifts. It wasn't uncommon for her to work nights, and she was well accustomed to the quiet unease that often accompanied the dark hours. One hospital she frequented, Montana State Hospital, was known for its sprawling hallways and whispers of old legends. Despite this, Amara always brushed off the stories, until one fateful night on the ECU, Extended Care Unit. It was a slow night, and Amara was pulled down to the ECU to help out. The ward was quiet, almost unnaturally so, when one of her patients, Mary, rang the call bell at precisely 3 a.m. What does she want now? Amara thought as she entered the room. Mary, a frail woman with a weak voice, looked visibly shaken. "The nurse keeps coming in here," she whispered, glancing at the corner of the room. Amara frowned. "What nurse?" Mary pointed but refused to look. "She just stands there, in the corner." Amara hesitated. "Stacy and I are the only ones here tonight, Mary. No one else has come in." "No," Mary insisted, her voice trembling. "There's another one." Trying to reassure her, Amara said, "Okay, if she comes back, ring the bell. I'll come right in." Returning to the nurse's station, Amara relayed the incident to her co-worker, Stacy. "Mary's acting strange," she said, shaking her head. "She's convinced there's another nurse in her room." Stacy chuckled nervously. "She must be dreaming. It's just us two tonight." Amara wanted to agree, but a lingering unease settled in her chest. Around 4 a.m., Mary rang the bell again. This time, her fear was palpable. "She's back," Mary whispered. Amara glanced around the dim room. "There's no one here," she said firmly. Mary gestured toward the bathroom. "She's in there." Amara's skin prickled as she opened the bathroom door, half expecting to see someone. It was empty. "There's nobody in here," she said, trying to mask her own nervousness. "But she was there," Mary insisted, her voice breaking. "I couldn't see her face, but it's a woman." Amara stayed with Mary for a while, trying to calm her. "Call me if you need anything," she said before leaving. When Amara returned to Mary's room a few hours later for a routine check, her stomach dropped. Mary wasn't in her bed. Rushing to the bathroom, Amara found her lying lifeless on the cold floor. The sight was haunting, but there was no explanation for what had happened. The incident left Amara shaken, but she had no choice but to continue her work. 3 months later, she was pulled back to the same unit. This time, room 4 was occupied by Mr. Howard, a friendly, alert man in his 60s. The memory of Mary's death lingered in her mind, but she pushed it aside, focusing on her tasks. The night was quiet until 3 a.m., when Mr. Howard's call light illuminated. Amara walked in, expecting a routine request. Instead, Mr. Howard looked at her with wide, frightened eyes. "You're a nurse, right?" he asked. "Yes," Amara replied cautiously. "Then why does the other nurse keep coming in here?" he said, pointing toward the same corner Mary had mentioned. Amara's heart skipped a beat. "What nurse?" "The woman," he said, lowering his voice. "She just stands there staring." Amara froze. "It's just Stacy and me tonight," she said. "There's no one else here." The room felt heavy, and Amara's pulse quickened. She left Mr. Howard's room and hurried to the nurse's station, where she told Stacy what had happened. "This is creepy as hell," Stacy said, her voice shaking. "Do you think it's related to what happened with Mary?" Before Amara could respond, Stacy added, "You've heard the story, right? About the nurse?" Amara shook her head, and Stacy leaned in closer, speaking in a hushed tone. "In the 1990s, there was a nurse who worked here. She was overworked and overwhelmed. One night, she couldn't take it anymore. They found her dead in the bathroom of this very unit. Amara's blood ran cold. They say her ghost still lingers, Stacy continued. Patients see her. She just stands in the corner watching. Some think she's looking for something or someone. Amara tried to dismiss the story as a scare tactic, but deep down, she couldn't shake the eerie feeling in her chest. Mr. Howard's account mirrored Mary's too closely to ignore. Amara couldn't forget what she had experienced. Who, or what, had Mary and Mr. Howard seen? Was it merely their imagination, or was it something else entirely? Over the years, other staff members have reported hearing unexplained footsteps, seeing shadows, or feeling watched while working in room 4. Patients have repeatedly described a woman who fits the same eerie description. For Amara, room 4 will always be a place of unanswered questions. Is the ghost of that overworked nurse truly trapped there, reliving her final moments? Or is it just the weight of a tragic history, casting a long, dark shadow over the unit? If you ever find yourself working the night shift at Montana State Hospital, especially in room 4, listen to your instincts. Maybe you'll hear the call bell ring at 3 a.m., or catch a glimpse of someone standing silently in the corner. And if you do, remember, not all visitors to the hospital are living. I hope you liked this story. Please let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, then subscribe to the channel because you will get to see similar videos on this channel. I'll see you again in a more scarier story.